The first contradiction is decisive. The available record does not document a lost wreck, an expedition, or a discovery. It cannot tell us where a vessel sank, where searchers expected to find it, or how anyone finally located it. That is the first concrete answer behind the title. A wreck may exist outside this record, but within the evidence supplied here, its identity and discovery remain unverified. To describe them as fact would turn an absence of information into an invented ocean mystery. The only source concerns the meaning of the phrase Chinese drama. It identifies several possible subjects: theatre in China, Huaju, also called modern Chinese drama, Chinese language cinema associated with China, Hong Kong, and Taiwan, Chinese literature, and Chinese television drama. It also points toward Chinese theatre as a related disambiguation topic. There is no vessel named in that material. No ocean is identified. No position, depth, date, crew, cargo, casualty, search area, seabed image, sonar return, recovered object, or eyewitness account appears in the record. That distinction matters because a wreck investigation begins with traceable observations. A position might come from navigation records. A possible target might first appear as an instrument detection. A camera could then provide images. Physical recovery could produce a sample or artifact. Researchers might compare dimensions, construction details, or markings with historical records. Each stage would carry a different evidentiary weight. A detection is not automatically an identification. An image is not necessarily proof of a vessel's name. An interpretation is not the same thing as a verified fact. But none of those stages is documented here, so none can be reconstructed responsibly. The phrase "where no one expected it" implies that there was once an expected search zone. That would require evidence, perhaps a reported final position, a documented route, a witness statement, or some other recorded basis for the expectation. It would also require a second location where the wreck was actually found. The distance between those places could then become the heart of the investigation. Currents, navigation error, structural failure, drifting before sinking, or an inaccurate historical report might be tested as explanations, but only if sources supported those factors. Here, neither location is available. The initial expectation is unknown, and the supposed discovery point is unknown. The descent therefore stops before the waterline. There is no source depth from which to calculate scale or describe pressure. There is no temperature measurement. There is no seafloor terrain, sediment type, current speed, visibility estimate, or acoustic survey range. Assigning any of those details would create a false sense of precision. Numbers can make a story sound scientific even when they have no connection to an actual observation. In a genuine deep ocean investigation, measurements constrain the mystery. In this case, unsupported measurements would only conceal the lack of evidence. There is also no documented mission. No expedition name anchors the story to a particular voyage. No institution is identified. No research ship, remotely operated vehicle, autonomous vehicle, submersible, magnetometer, multi-beam system, side-scan sonar, camera platform, or recovery apparatus is listed. Without that information, we cannot say how the seabed was searched or what the instruments could resolve. We cannot describe survey lines, detection thresholds, blind spots, weather delays, positioning uncertainty, or the difference between a first anomaly and a confirmed wreck. Those are not decorative technical details. They define what investigators were physically capable of observing. Even the word "found" demands careful treatment. It can describe several very different events: detecting an unexplained target, photographing a wreck-shaped object, identifying a known ship, or recovering evidence that confirms an identity. The available material establishes none of them. It does not report a detection, sample, image, eyewitness observation, expert interpretation, hypothesis, or consensus. Consequently, there is no supported moment of discovery to dramatize and no verified chain of evidence leading toward one. The only documented subject is linguistic and cultural categorization. The phrase Chinese drama can refer to multiple forms and media rather than one unique topic. That fact may explain why unrelated material can appear beside an intended search for a maritime story, but even that must be stated cautiously. The record does not explain how this mismatch occurred. It does not identify an indexing failure, a mistaken title, an ambiguous name, or a confused historical reference. We can observe only that the supplied subject and the promised wreck investigation do not match. The cause of the mismatch remains unknown. This creates an evidence hierarchy with an unusual result. At the highest supported level is a simple verified statement. The source lists several meanings connected with Chinese drama. Below that is an observation about the dossier itself. It contains no wreck evidence. Beyond those points, proposed stories rapidly lose support. We could imagine that a ship shared a name with a theatrical work, that cinema preserved an account of a sinking, or that a television drama inspired the wording of the title. But the source establishes none of those connections. They are possibilities generated by association, not explanations grounded in evidence, and they must be excluded. The same rule applies to the missing wreck. The absence of documentation does not prove that no ship sank. It does not prove that no wreck was discovered unexpectedly. It does not prove suppression, error, conspiracy, or deception. It proves only that this record cannot verify the event. Evidence limits are not evidence for a more sensational alternative. When information is missing, the scientifically defensible response is to narrow the claim, not enlarge it. So, what decisive force made the expected outcome fail? No force can be identified from the available material. There is no sourced current carrying a vessel away from its presumed position. There is no storm, collision, explosion, mechanical failure, navigational mistake, wartime action, or structural breakup. There is not even a verified expected outcome against which the discovery can be compared. Any rise and fall narrative, an apparently dominant vessel, a turning point, and a compounding decline would require facts that the record does not provide. Adding them would manufacture both the incident and its consequences. The best current explanation is therefore about the evidence, not the ocean. The supplied record is unrelated or insufficient for the promised wreck story. That conclusion is strongly supported by what the material actually contains and by what it does not claim to contain. It does not resolve the historical mystery that the title suggests. Instead, it establishes a boundary. There is presently no sourced basis here for naming the wreck, locating it, describing its loss, identifying its discoverers, or explaining why it lay outside an expected search area. The exact unresolved question is not yet, why did the wreck end up there? A prior question must be answered first. What documented wreck and discovery does the title refer to? Once that identity is established through relevant evidence, investigators could ask where the vessel was expected, where it was observed, what instruments recorded it, and which explanation best fits the separation between those points. Until then, there is no responsible way to rank causes or declare that one mechanism solved the mystery. Deep ocean stories often derive their power from limited observation. Darkness, distance, pressure, incomplete surveys, and degraded remains can leave real questions open even after years of work. But those forces must belong to a documented case before they can shape its explanation. Here, the limit arrives earlier. It is not an instrument staring into deep water. It is a record that never reaches the sea. The title promises a wreck found in an unexpected place. The evidence identifies only several meanings of Chinese drama. The central claim, at the supported level of certainty, is therefore unresolved, and any more dramatic answer would not be discovery, but invention.